All right, everybody, and welcome back to Melanin Minds, empowering Black women creators in the comic book and manga space. This is our season one finale. Yep, only 6 episodes. That's what we're going to be rocking with every season here, because that's what I felt like doing. And I felt like it was a good number. But anyway, today is our roundtable talk episode where we're bringing back as many of the ladies as we could. We can get them all up here to reintroduce themselves in case you missed it, and then we're going to get started. All right, I guess we'll start like reading from left to right. We're gonna start with Amber.
Hi. So just an introduction who I am.
Yeah.
Whatever
For
I thought.
anybody who forgot, sometimes people don't pay attention.
All right. So my name is Amber Coco Allen. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and a wearable art designer. This is one of my sets. I have always loved art. I have dreamed of being an artist since I was 5 years old, and now I'm using my life and my story and infusing all of those things that I've learned through my art and sharing it with the world.
Carla.
I'm Carla, aka Moon the Storyteller. I am the creator of Luna, the Queen of Maru, a title from Concrete Comics. And Amber is married to the founder of Concrete Comics. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you that. Yeah.
Yes.
That is a lovely way to find out, though. Look, it's genuine. Oop.
Oh,
She
man.
actually designed the logo for Concrete.
That's actually where I thought you were going to say, yeah, she designed the logo, the website.
The website,
Right?
and
Yeah.
also for Luna.
And Luna.
And
She did Luna's branding.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is a branding genius.
Thank you.
I'll ask for a favor later. A favor with paid money. Paid money, I promise.
Kira.
Hi. My name is Kira. I go also by the name of Lady Mandalore, and I am Lord, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. You can, geez, what do I do? I'm basically trying to be a conduit for content creators, artists, in all facets of that word, to help give them a place or platform to be presented to the world instead of having to rely on that goddamn algorithm. I curse like a sailor, and I appreciate it. I think it just shows my IQ level. So, you can also find me on Blurred's Eye View, which is currently in hiatus. You can also find me on my podcast, which is called Roomful of Blurreds, on Sundays. I don't think I said what Blurred's Eye View is, and that is going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mine is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, man.
Amazing comic book reading club.
And I have a comic book reading club. Thank you very much for reminding me to tell about myself that I have a comic book reading club. We are currently actually about to finish up Storm's arc within X-Men Red, and we will be moving on to The Last Ronin, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. It's going to be enjoyable.
You know what? This wasn't part of the repertoire today, but I am curious for those who have seen X-Men. Amber, did you see X-Men, the first 2 episodes?
Not yet. Derek has been hounding me about it, but my life has been a whirlwind. But it's coming. It's pending, but it's okay. We can talk about it.
Are you sure? Okay, because I was like, I don't want to give you any spoilers. Okay, yeah, if you're cool. Speaking of Storm, I want to know everybody's thoughts. Well, thoughts on Storm in these first 2 episodes and a certain spoiler redacted event that happened as well.
Who wants to go first? Because I'm going to be polite.
Carla?
I'm gonna be polite. Okay, so let me just get what I want to say out the way. Then I love drama. I love when people are pushing and pulling and poking and prodding at my emotions. So like when I saw, so episode 1, we finally saw Storm the way that she's always should have been depicted, as a goddess, omega level mutant. Meaning basically there's no limit to her power. She just has to kind of learn what they are and tap into those things. And so I feel like the writers are going to allow Storm to take center stage, because we saw her come in episode 1. Unfortunately, episode 2, she leaves. But I feel like it's setting it up for this epic return, just like it is in the comic books. We've seen. I've only seen I said, I just started reading Uncanny X-Men, so I'm kind of jumping around. But we've seen Storm's powers being taken away, but she always comes back like more glorious than ever. So I just cannot wait for that episode where she just comes back, and she's probably going to come back, save the day. Probably all the X-Men are going to be tied up somewhere, and it's going to be Storm, delivering them. So I love what happened, because they're finally focusing on Storm, and they're finally allowing her to have her arc, and hopefully they won't attach her to anyone. Like she will be Storm, like in her, she's not romantically attached to Forge or T'Challa. They're probably not gonna bring T'Challa back, but you know what I mean. So not T'Challa, Black Panther. So I'm just looking forward to everything about this show, but especially Storm's arc. I just cannot wait to see it. So that's just all I want to say.
The X-Men will be tied up. Jean will be fainting.
Girl, no, please. Oh my God! If you don't get your raggedy,
I know, as powerful as she is.
All right, Kira, I'm very curious to hear what you had to say.
So first of all, I want to give. I appreciate the creators and the former showrunner figuring out a way to not have this happen during Black History Month, because I would have been super tight. It's bad enough that what they did to Storm, they did it during Women's History Month, but I'm gonna let y'all live. But I'm distraught. Distraught. When I first saw that particular action occur, overall, I think this is the best 2 episodes that I have seen in the entire run that is X-Men the animated series. I had no expectations. I knew it was going to be good based on the people that they have around it, but hey, they blew this out the water big time. I'm glad Cyclops is Cyclopsing appropriately. I'm happy Morph is not way weird as he was. I'm glad the characters have grown in the 30 some odd, almost 30 some odd years that we have been missing them. Ayo, Magneto be spitting bars forever. Forever.
Why does he look like somebody that
like a Vogue model?
I mean, like
he should be on a shampoo commercial.
Yeah, what is it? Garnier Nutrice.
Yeah, Garnier. The hair is glorious, though. You have to at least give him that much.
Yes. There was his speech. I say this because I don't like to cry. Had me crying at a bus stop on the way to work. I was tight. I was like, don't. Why you make me in the middle of New York City? Like I know I'm a New Yorker. Like I don't need that. I don't need that badge of honor. I've been through it enough. I'm good. It's the Storm thing, the development and the direction that they're going. I can't wait till she washes these motherfuckers. I can't wait without her powers at that. I cannot wait.
After this, I gotta go watch it because Bayer has been hounding. It's like you gotta. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and then something else comes up. The kids, something else. So I think
everybody needs a little dip in NyQuil and go watch it.
Right.
Just a little dip.
Put baby to bed. Tell baby girl she go play Roblox or something. Get out space.
It's my time.
It's time for
go
mom to watch.
Go sit in the car with your phone and watch it for an hour.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, everyone's hyping it up and it's not gonna live up to the hype. And as someone who absolutely loved the original series, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna watch and be like, oh, everybody was lying. And then we watched it and I was just like, oh my God, thank God it lives up to the hype. It's amazing. I love it. It's I think Frankie said it's, or maybe it was you, one of you. It was like, it's the best continuation to an existing series like ever. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You just come, just drop in like it never ended.
I think it's because they had the time to see, because we've had movies, we've had all the X-Men movies since then, and they paid attention to the criticisms of the characters and the way they were developed. And like I said, I'm not versed on the latest, like the more modern age X-Men, but just from reading the older ones from the 60s and 70s, they were even though they were teenagers, they had some powers. I mean, they have their backs up against the wall, and somehow magically they will kick Magneto's butt. Like he and so we knew they were powerful, but the movies never really truly captured how powerful they were. So I think the writers were very intentional, making sure that they addressed every single criticism out the gate. Like, okay, Cyclops, okay, we know you got a little bad in you, because that part where I'm not the professor.
Take that.
He's like, I'm not the professor.
Right.
And to actually see the extent of his beams, because some people, like, I thought that his beams just kind of like, what's the word, like debilitated you, like, oh my God, I didn't realize that can blow up stuff.
No, he's not Gene.
I didn't know that. He's very powerful, so and then here comes Omega level threat detected, or whatever they said. I was like, oh, that's Storm. And that intro they gave her,
he said, give him the forecast.
Like, Scott been to the cookout in the off season.
Right.
I love it. And I think that I'm sure they are getting the Storm movie, or if they don't have a Storm movie in the works, they are thinking about who's going to be Storm. And I hope they pay attention to how people are receiving this Storm. Like, we want this Storm in the movies.
Exactly. Man, when I say, because I'm so glad, because people need to put some respect on Scott Summers' name. They forgot who he was. Everybody been calling him a Boy Scout, including Magneto. Like, I'm just so glad we got this instead of, like, while I enjoyed the X-Men movies for what they were when they came out and everything, it's just like, this is Scott Summers. This is how he's supposed to be. Like this. And I that scene in that warehouse when he was flipping. He was like, oh, not my glasses. Oh, baby, don't you know these eyes lead you to a different dimension? Y'all didn't know. I'm sorry. But on the Storm thing, I'm not gonna lie. At first I was just like, really? We're gonna do this to the black woman? We're gonna do this to the black woman. I was like, you know what? Exactly like Carla said. Exactly like you said. Like, the arc, it's about to go off, and she's about to go off, and it's going to be amazing. Her development and struggle is all going to come full circle, and it's probably going to be, if not the best, like top tier of whatever happens in this series as a whole. Like, it's not number one, it's going to be number two. Like,
I think they said that these two episodes have been the best rated out of the entire MCU? Just these two alone. Have received
rated like 100. On the Rotten Tomatoes.
Anywhere.
Yeah. Because Marvel MCU fans we're just at the point where we're like, whatever. You know,
I've signed my
so we didn't have. I don't think anybody had any expectations. You know, so maybe that helped, but you know, maybe that helped us receive this in the way that we are receiving it. But I think it's a little deeper than that. I like the writing, the dialogue. Like the dialogue in itself is amazing. It's no cliches. There's no cliche writing. It's in all, you know, like Magneto's speech, especially. I thought it was very funny how they are centering Magneto at this point. I don't know why yet, but they are centering him.
Oh, I have a guess.
It does.
I'm not gonna
It does happen in the comics.
Yeah.
What's going on does happen in the comics. There's a couple
all
of
this happens in the comics.
things. Yeah.
There's some things I'm expecting to happen given the direction it seems like they're going. And I'm just waiting to see how they pull it off and how they do it.
Okay.
Pack your bags, y'all. Pack your bags.
All right. That wasn't on the itinerary, but I just really wanted to know what everybody thought. Amber, I'll probably message you like tomorrow to see what you thought when you finally watch it. But
put an update in the description.
Right. Here were Amber's thoughts in case you were curious.
Right. In case,
I'm just gonna copy paste exactly what she said. You can get it in her own words. There you go. You're welcome. Make sure you check the description below. But as you all know, because I brought y'all on with this month, we've been talking about advocacy and social justice and change through arts and comics and stuff like that. So we have a couple topics, and we're just going to kind of discuss around everybody's thoughts and how we can, you know, change things and moving forward, and even in mainstream, but also, of course, as most of us are indie creators or do something with indie or support indie in whatever way that we do, just get fun banter and get our thoughts out there. So we're going to start off with talking about, the representation in comics. I guess our thoughts on it, how we can continue to make it better, how we can fight to continue to see not just representation, but proper representation in the comics now and moving forward, and maybe even where we came from a little bit.
It's better. Things have become more diverse. It should continue in that general direction. It's far better than it is on TV, the representation of Black people as a whole in comics. There's a lot more diversity as far as internal character, not like the character. I'm proud of it so far. That's what I've got so far. I don't want to take up the whole section. I'd like to pass the baton.
Carla?
So the question is, how do I feel about Black representation?
Or just even just diversity as a whole? Like,
I think that in the comic book, like the comic books, there's a lot of diversity. There's a good representation when it comes to the characters that we see. However, you know, I'm a math girl. I'm a statistic girl. As of 2021, though, there only 4.3% of the writers in mainstream comic books are Black. So 67% white, 4.3% Black, and I think that number has actually increased a little bit, because I think we've had another conversation. I think is up to 6%. So mainstream is still having trouble with understanding that Black women should write Black women characters, Black men should write the Black characters, or even, you know, just like we have the news about Eve
Ewing.
Yep, she's writing a series, one of the X-Men series. So even just having people of color write for they don't have to write for Black characters. They can write for series and ongoing series.
Right. about diversity and social justice, something Black people understand.
And that's what X-Men is all about too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like, as far as characters, I think we got it, but when it comes to the people that are getting paid to create these stories, we still have a long way to go.
Yeah. And I do want to jump in real quick before we move over to Amber and say, you can't tell me Kira didn't have nothing to do with Evie when writing for X-Men. I'm just saying. She brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
She brought it up. She said, "Where's the Black woman writing for Storm in the main X-Men series?"
Mm-hmm.
And now
it's embarrassing. It wasn't bad. Like I asked him, like, wait a minute. I've gone through several decades of the X-Men in general, and I'm like, wait a minute. Old white man, old white woman. Back to the olderish white man. Wait a minute. Am I bugging? And I had to ask the public, are you telling me that there's not one iteration of Storm aside from like small solo books, never written by a Black woman? Thing. Like, what? How? Como City? How? Like, why would you do that? It made absolutely no sense. Made no sense.
And you said it, and she got tagged like 4 times in that post. Yeah. All I'm saying is somebody heard you.
I hope
somebody heard you.
Get it done. If I got that much power, I've got a few more names. Just throw out there. I'll post them. Post this.
Post them.
Yeah, no. There's plenty of qualified, above average, above overqualified talent that's out there. Inkers, pencilers, writer. We have them all
over the place. Let's stop acting like, oh well, are there any qualified Black women in the comics that even have the credentials to? Yes. The answer to that person who asked that question on the post is yes.
Who asked that foolishness?
Somebody on TikTok. It's still there, Carla. You're going to go look at it.
I'm not going back there. I saw your Instagram feed and I had enough.
Funny enough, TikTok was not nearly as bad as Instagram, and usually you expect that to be where it is.
Oh,
thank God! Because I couldn't handle both. But Amber, your thoughts? I just wanted to get that out there while it was relevant to what was being said.
No, for sure. I think I 100% agree with both of you. I think that's why it's so important that we are building our platforms like Midnight Comics, Concrete Comics, like us writing our own stories, are authentic to ourselves. I think that is where it starts. Because, even though other people might be writing it, are they really competing with our authentic stories at the end of the day? Now we want the money to go with it. We want that money to be equal. But I think at the end of the day, it's building and working together and pushing and making our own platforms. And I think not allowing people to label us into one category as well. Like, we are writers, we are everything, just like everybody else. And just pushing that narrative forward the more, like, as much as we can. I think that's the most important part. There's so many talented people behind the scenes of all of these great, indie publishing comic book companies. And it's, there's a lot of talent out there. So just, if we can't be in the door, then we create the doors.
Right. What do they say? Don't ask for a seat at their table, make your own. Right. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think another big thing is I agree with Carla in the fact that we definitely have the characters. The characters are out there. They exist. The issue is that the characters don't get the same amount of love and support that our white counterparts do. Like, if we talk diversity in comics on how many Black characters exist, they exist. Even, and this is speaking mainstream, they exist. There's so many of them. But how many times has DC had a crisis event and we see Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, maybe even Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. And of course, now we have the Super Sons. So we have Superman's son's name. I can't ever remember his name.
It's Superman's dad on the farm. What's his name?
Oh, he did name him after his dad. Jesus Christ, that's right.
Jonathan.
Yes, Jonathan. Jonathan. And
is it Jonathan?
I think it is Jonathan. And of course, everybody's favorite Robin. Anyway.
Good old Dick.
Yeah. No, I'm not even talking about Dick.
Damien,
yeah. You'll see them now because they got their kids now. They're out there. And you'll see like most of the Justice League will get Martian Manhunter in there.
Flash sometimes.
We get Flash in there. But you're just like, okay, but where's John? Where's Steel? Where's Vixen? Where are the Black characters that exist that are part of the Justice League during this crisis event? Are you telling me that they're too busy to help and be a part of this story?
Mm-hmm.
Until Black History Month, when you do a little side story with what they were doing during this story?
One story in one book.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I agree. Like the problem with diversity is not that the characters don't exist; it's that we're not using them.
It's lazy. They're being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what they know will sell,
right?
You know, because we are reading the Godzilla run in DC where they do have the crossover. I think it's the DC Justice League with Godzilla and King Kong. Mm-hmm. We're like really into that right now. But you're right.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Look, I just found out Power Rangers crossed over with Nightmare on Elm Street, and apparently that came out in 2020. So hey, look.
Yeah, I think it's Godzilla, the Justice League.
You don't. Mm-hmm. All this, and you just can't see a Black character. Make it make sense. What you doing?
Apparently that's on issue 5, by the way, too. The Power Rangers Nightmare on Elm Street. It's now has Pinhead in it. A common writer. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. I found out yesterday.
Not do it. Bend over backwards to not do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
who would be your perfect crossover? What would be your perfect crossover event?
Ooh. Carly, you got one? I got to think about that.
I think it's happened. But didn't Storm and Nubia or Storm and Wonder Woman meet up one time?
Mm-hmm. Back in when they were doing Amalgam, yeah.
I would love to see Nubia, Storm, Night. You know, all these anti-hero, heroes, villains. Mm-hmm. I would love to see that. You know, a crossover event for those women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be great. And that's mainstream. I'm curious who indie, since we're all technically indie creators / supporters. Like what indie characters would you want to see like really crossover or do like a big crossover event? Of course, we know we have a huge crossover event coming up in Epiphany Engine where we'll get to see so many characters. But like aside from that, like what's some characters we would want to see crossover? Carla.
Anything.
I mean, sorry.
I guess I would love to cross over with your characters, and I'm sure that's going to happen one day.
Oh, honestly, I think Soul and Luna would be a crazy pair. Really, the Gray? Mm-hmm. I said honestly, I was thinking Soul and Luna would be a crazy pair because one's the moon and one's the sun, and I've always been intrigued by how they would interact.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry. Both of your names start with K, and I always do that. So I'm sorry, Kira.
It is totally fine. You see me. I sit back. It's fine. No worries.
So yeah, but yeah, I always thought Soul and Luna would be cool. The Gray and Luna is also cool though because of the black hole element. It's interesting. But I still gotta think about both of those.
The gravity, the playing with gravity too.
Mm-hmm.
With the two of them, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a different one with your hand raise?
Yes. Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer, and the Gray.
Really?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to message David. See how we work that one out. Amber, you have any interesting indie crossovers you'd want to see?
Listen, I'm not as much as a in the blurred world as you guys, but I was trying to think of Luna, who I would want to see with. So I feel like Luna is such like a beautiful,
Right?
like, strong woman.
Okay.
I don't know. What would you say, Carla? What would you say?
To cross over with Luna?
Mm-hmm.
I think Soul, it would be, that would be a really interesting story. I don't know how they would meet, but I mean, because
That's a lot of time travel.
I'm about to say time machines.
She there are portals. There are time portals in Luna's universe. So but yeah, I think that merely only because of the power set, you know, and how they would interact. So like it, and there's another character by Ronnie. I forgot
All Star.
All Star. He has control of the stars. He can pull the stars. So I think those three would be like a really
be
story.
interesting.
Yeah,
they would be unstoppable. I know that much. Oh, she said there's time portals in there now. I cannot wait for the rest of this story to come out.
I'm like, wait, when you putting the books out? I forgot to ask.
So in the first book, Luna mentions, the time portals have been closed for centuries. Yeah, so there are time
for a reread because I don't remember the line.
I did. I'm like, wait.
I read the book 3 times. I don't remember it. Time to read it again.
No.
She has hidden secrets.
No. It's in like the first couple of pages. It's the first couple of pages, I think, after the intro of the bad guy doing what he's doing in that page, and then a couple of pages later, they mention it
when Prinsha comes and we're like, you gotta marry her back, and she mentioned
Boyd remembered it and I didn't. What? Oh wow. Yeah, I can't wait for that. But I think we're going to go to the next topic, which is social justice themes breakdown, baby. That's right, you did the breakdown. Social justice themes in comics, and I guess our thoughts on social justice themes in comics, ones that are being done right, ones that aren't. And of course, I guess if I were to start with ones that are doing right, the answer will always be X-Men. In the comics, in the series, the old series and the new, they're always doing it. There was a line in there, and I don't want to get too, into exactly what was happening, but someone stated, "What do I do with my child? How do I explain to them that the world is dangerous for them?" And Lloyd and I looked at each other at that very moment, and we swapped looks, just like, I guarantee you that so many people understand and feel for the character and what they're trying to say in that moment, that have literally fought us on that exact sentiment.
Yeah.
Disney's in trouble. Disney, I don't know, that line that one particular line in that one episode would set the world ablaze if you said it. If you put it in a regular sitcom show or a drama or even something on HBO, I think they would have something. They'd be in a lot of trouble. I'm very interested to see how Disney as a whole goes forward with that, because that is something that you can't take back. It's something that you now have an entire community of people globally that have heard that and understand that sentiment, how do you translate that into an X-Men movie? How you're gonna have to do it. And with the movie that they have coming up, Brave New World, and a particular person of Israeli descent that's in it, that's been very inflammatory. Their social justice card is they better have that insured. They cannot. I'm really nervous for them. I'm nervous for this movie going forward. I'm nervous for the X-Men too, a little bit with the social justice stuff, because the way the world is moving, it feels like anybody could accidentally trip and pull the plug on something right now. And it's not going to take a lot. And they came out swinging with that just one sentence or one question that she had. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Hopeful, but that's a large plate to start out with.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because it's a cartoon, because it's X-Men, because it's a beloved franchise. I don't think that they're going to get a lot of pushback. But Kira, you're right, because if it was said by if it was said by a Black character, it would get it. Well, why they got to put in political stuff? Why they got to do this? But because Jean said it, what can you say about that? Oh yeah, because her child's a mutant, and but yet you can't understand why people of color feel the same way. You know, so I definitely think that they are doing. X-Men has always been about the marginalized, daring to exist, and when people come for them, you know, and that was Magneto's whole thing was, you know, they were their people were killed and, you know, in the Holocaust, and he took that hatred for humans and he still tried to live his own peaceful life. But then they came for him, killing his family. And that's when, like, you know, that's when he was like, I've had enough of humans. So I get, like, I get the struggle. I get it. And I think that's why a lot of people of color relate to the X-Men so well, is those themes of being marginalized and just wanting to just be left alone. But you can't be left alone. They can't leave us alone. They've never been able to leave us alone. We even after slavery, we developed, you know, we had Tulsa, we had what was it called? Greenwood. We've had our own town.
Black Wall Street.
Yep. We've had our own towns, and they will find a way to burn it down.
To be offended.
Yeah. So I think X-Men is really like those white men. Stan Lee knew what he was doing when he created the X-Men. I really do. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the power of art too. Like, there's so much to say without saying through art, you know, and building these characters, and, you know, how kids and even adults relate to certain characters. I think in a way, is the power of connecting to other people and, you know, sharing those things. I feel like even though it should be obvious, a lot of people do know that that's the case, but they don't want to admit it, you know, but you could see it through the art that they created that we understand, you know what I mean? So I think that's the power of building these stories and finding relatability in these characters that we're creating, especially us as, you know, just Black creators, just being able to share that so people can see our perspectives. I think that is the most beautiful part of being an artist and being a creator and being a writer, is to be able to share those things, even though it doesn't feel like sometimes it's not blatant, but people get it, you know?
And I think, Carla, you and I talked about this, where is exactly that. It's not that they don't understand. They understand exactly what it is. They don't care because they don't want to understand, because that means they have to change. That means they don't get to be comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
Another day at work.
Another day of being Black. And I think the next topic is similar to this, but just like activism through art, and not only your thoughts on it, but the ways that it can improve. And I think, Amber, this is a good one for you to take the lead on, because I definitely like I see all of our art as activism, most definitely, without even trying. I definitely see you really out there, of course, as a very much visual artist who does your art, who has the wearable art, and even like I said before, the mural you did for Black History Month, like all so beautiful and touching. And just your thoughts on how to keep that going and sustain it and maybe be seen more in the ways that we do that.
I think it's just a combination of things. My life experiences, just growing up as a Black woman, a Black girl with a dream. I feel like so many people can relate. And that was why I brought that up even for the last topic, that art is such a connector. Like, I feel like I use it in every aspect of my life, just understanding my own self, in my career as an educator, in, my interactions with children outside of school, just building workshops. I want to empower people, and I use my art to do that. And I think that's the beautiful thing about, being able to use all of your gifts and talents to make change in the world. And I think that's kind of where it stems from. I just want to see better. I want to see people feel empowered. I want to use my own story to empower people. I go through struggle. I try to share, the triumphs, and I try to share the struggle, because it's not always easy, but I think it's just being consistent, showing up for yourself, and other people will be inspired by that. And that's kind of what motivates me.
Carla, I always love yours because, of course, Luna's a Black character, a Black woman. And another thing is we need more of that in comics. But I love that, to me, your activism is the act of not doing activism in your story. Just letting a Black woman live and be loved.
Yeah. We had this conversation where sometimes, especially for the most part, I see male writers do this, is that they create these Black women, these Black characters, they're always fighting. Like the cover, she's in a fight. She's, ready to fight. First scene she's fighting, last scene she's fighting, and when some characters I absolutely love, like, there's a character by Naji Kandaki that I absolutely love. Like, I love your characters, Taj, because they are you see the rest, you see them resting, you see them getting their thoughts together. You allow them to breathe in that story, and you give them depth and, of course, layers and things like that. And so with Luna, every cover that she has, you're going to see her at peace. You're going to see her, in her glorified state. Her hair is whipping, and you're going to see her in her regalness and her beauty. And that is intentional, because I don't want people to associate Luna with fighting. I want people to associate Luna with love and peace. And so that's one of the main themes is, this woman is at her peace. She's loved dearly, but someone has come to threaten her peace. But but in that story, she doesn't start fighting right away. She has to come into herself and learn what her powers are. She has to get stronger, but all the while she's being protected by the love of her life. Abek. It means protector. His name means protector. So he, you see this love, this relationship between the two. She's cherished, she's loved, and he's going to do everything in his power to keep her safe, along with their kids. So, but yeah, that is my activism, is people to see the Black woman as not a soldier. We don't want to be soldiers. I don't want to be. We don't want to be.
We're tired of being your soldiers and you
don't
not
want to fight.
spitting in our face.
Yeah, we want to be protected. We want to be fought over. We want to be fought for. That is my form of activism. Through Luna.
Right. And I love it because nothing is more political to these people than a Black woman just living her life and being at peace. Or anything else that's not us struggling or being upset or catty. It's like, even I think with the Gray, most of her covers so far have been either her having fun or, well, technically all her having fun because she's a scientist and science is fun for her. So if she's doing science on the cover, she's having fun.
Tinkering. Yeah.
Right. Yep. That's literally the name of the cover poster for that first issue 0, The Tinker. And Carla, because you've got the space where we can all go.
I am not an artist, decidedly.
You're
but
literally a voice actress. That is art.
That is correct. that is true. Okay. The reason why I'm not ready to call it, that's not my activism yet.
That's fair.
I haven't said something funky to get me in trouble. That's why. When I say something funky, that'll be activism. But
now we must change that.
Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm waiting. My form of activism through art is a little bit, secondhand. I want people to buy y'all's stuff. That is how you fund more art for activism. That's the thought process in my head. Okay, this country does not understand anything but the color green. It seems, so it feels. So okay, how do I get their attention to make them understand? No, we serious about our over here. If I can get me, mine, and my cousins to take all of our toys money and go over here where not only is it's better, it's appreciated. That is my peaceful resistance. That is the most peaceful form of resistance that I can guide people towards. Okay, nobody's really up for a fight anymore. If like right now, to me, it feels like people are laying down, and I know everybody is tired, disinterested, confused. Another word I want to use, distracted. All right, people are still spending money. Mm-hmm. Let's move our focus away from actively trying to kill people. And take the money away from that source and put it into art. Buy a comic book, go to a movie, buy that. I can't remember anybody's name right now, and I'm so sorry. Buy that piece of art. Buy that song from that indie artist that you like. It's one song, maybe it's their first song, who knows? But if it speaks to you, put that money into that. Beyonce, I love you. But we on the ground floor, we need our money to be put into the community more so than just your particular pocket. Even though you giving it back is cool. We cool. I don't need the Beehive coming after me. I think this is the second time I've gone after anybody in this series. But
I feel bad. I made the same statement when I talked to Carl about Beyonce. I was like, I'll give that money to somebody smaller before I give it to Beyonce.
I mean, they need it. But it helps. It's helpful because if let's say that money does go to somebody that's Beyonce, maybe that person goes on tour, Beyonce notices them, and now they're collaborating together. You don't know how much your little bit of $20 might help somebody become the next anything. Artist, somebody else that writes for X-Men Marvel, because now they're undeniable. We have shown that this person is worth something to us. Would you like some of our money again? Mm-hmm. Would you? Let us. I mean, you didn't seem to think that it sold before. What's happened, baby? Something changed? You don't like that second summer home down slumming it in no offense, Long Island? You want to go back to Hawaii? Pay attention. Pay attention. Give us our due. Give us our due.
I mean, you forgot that you have a whole space, a whole safe space for people to act up, but it's a safe space.
Room full of blurs.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm terrible at it, but yes, also room full of birds. If you come, you can come to my space. I will prop you up. I will tell people about you specifically so that you have a wider audience. People, I like to interview people. I do pretty good sometimes.
You're very good.
I will absolutely give you a platform where you're not being asked generic ass questions for the 18 millionth time. I want you to have a personality. I want people to see you as a person, as a human being, so that they'll feel more connected to you, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, I get the point of your art, or oh, okay, I just like you, and now I want to support you and see what else you can do. Room full of blurs, ladies and gentlemen.
We want
Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I be forgetting sometimes that I'm kind of cool. I do forget sometimes.
And I was on there last month.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that just last month? It feels like it was a long ago.
It feels like I swear to God, it was January.
It was February because it was the Kickstarter. I think I had the Kickstarter going on.
Well, then it was last month.
Congratulations, by the way.
Always. We keep telling her, like, girl, you could do a weekend. You gonna fund. You be fine.
we will fund. I think we could easily fund, but I wouldn't be able to get what I got. I don't think
that is also true, though.
Yeah,
that is, ma'am, sister girl. I looked at that number. I was like, oh, the pores are around. Hide your money.
The pores are around.
And I just wanted to add one thing. As you guys were talking, I was thinking about this. I feel like there's a lot of organizations that are looking to diversify what they're bringing to their, they're looking for more stories. But I feel like at the same time, we have to know what if they're coming to us with this, we need to know what a proper pay is, like being prepared. So when they come to us too, we can have all that in line, I feel like there's some, like, as a newbie and just building my brand and my wearable art and things like that, like I'm noticing, okay, they're coming to me with this, but now I need to find the people that are going to help me know how to navigate in that space. You know what I mean? So I think that is something too that I'm learning. I'm like, there's a lot of organizations out there that are looking for something different, that are looking for diverse voices, but we want to make sure we're getting the right pay, we're getting the right, all the things that come with it, like everybody else too. So that comes with some work and knowing what people around us have that information. So that's kind of where I am too, just thinking like, what networks can we build to continue to grow that side, and what where are, like, I'm looking at different places, like, I would have never known that this company was looking for this, that, and the third. So where are those sites that are promoting those? You know what I mean? Like things like that.
Right.
So that's another piece to it. Like, what on our part would help us navigate in those situations so we're coming out better too,
Yeah. That's what you're saying. Because not only, because with me, I'm looking at it as from a writer's perspective. It's not just Marvel and DC that need writers.
Nope.
So there are other studios. There are other studios that are looking for, original stories.
Nonprofit organizations, like my husband has linked up. I can't even talk too much about some of those things, but and it just happened organically because another diversity group organization linked up with him, and they have been finding different things to, output different things. So it's like just being open about the possibilities,
Yeah. I was thinking, like Carla said, because other people are looking for writers, even with editing. I've been out there. People ask, it's like, okay, because of course I do editing, not just for Midnight Comics, but also for Concrete Comics.
Right.
And just knowing that lots of indie creators need and some of them really need editors and don't realize they need editors. And sometimes it's about also putting yourself out there, but also knowing that not just comic book creators need editors. And then, like you said about the nonprofits and stuff, I have a really hard time when we go to some of these like education summits, because I've been to a few, giving them my price, because I'm just like, well, I want to do it for the kids, but I do need to eat.
Right.
And my kids need to eat, and I want to do it for my kids too.
Right.
But it's definitely thinking about your worth, and knowing your worth is definitely important.
I think I have a business mentor. So I don't go to her often, but when I feel I have the coins to do it and I feel like it's time, I talk to her, and every step of the way she's making me think deeper into that part of it, you know. Probably after this I'll let you link it and you guys can check her out too. She's excellent with branding, with just all of that, navigating that piece. So I think just finding people like her is just so much help. You know, it's helped me, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, but somebody else knows.
Mentors are gods. And so, because what I want to know what we think about the future of activism in art, in comics, in those kinds of things. The future, where we're headed, where we think we're headed, where we need to be headed. Like what should this look like in even the next 10 years?
I would like to be optimistic. I hope that the studios understand how important it is to have quality writing. And that means that writers who go deeper than just the cliche one-liners, writers who can truly tap into the experience, the human experience, but also to razzle and dazzle it up to the Black experience, you know, Indigenous experience, even the LGBT community. When we start seeing that on a consistent basis, I think that the quality of Hollywood will improve. But I don't see that right now. You know, we have glimmers. You know, we have those, you know, Black Panther. That's the only thing I can think of right now. We had the Blue Beetle. You know, the Blue Beetle was, I think, a good script. But I don't see that a lot anymore. Even the Marvels, I thought it was a very cute movie, but I felt like they could have did a lot more with that intersection of white, Black, and
it was a fun movie. But it wasn't.
It didn't
outstand. Like, it was really fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. I watched it more than once, but
it didn't leave a mark.
It didn't leave a mark. It didn't. Yeah. It didn't. Yeah. It was a lot of missed opportunities, and it wasn't the actor's fault. It wasn't the director's fault. I think it was just a lot of red tape.
I think there was a lot of, and Lloyd and I talked about this on our morning walk yesterday. I think it was a lot of big issue of we finally got a Black woman writer on it, and she was essentially bullied out of that position and had to leave someone else to finish it for her, also rewriting it.
Which is why sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It looked, it was cute, but it was choppy. It felt it felt messy. Like they tried to figure out, they tried to land the plane as best as they could, but you could still, I see the cracks. Your lace front is popping up, baby.
You see where she was still inserted, but you could see where they had to try to glue it back down because they didn't know where to take it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I mean, I didn't even see Madam Web. I don't even know.
Don't do that to yourself.
I have not seen it. I will not see it. Yeah.
If they tell you it's worse than what is it, Morbius,
Morbius, yeah.
Believe them.
I mean,
Please believe.
same creators.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have high hopes. I think that we'll have, hopefully, projects here and there. Like X-Men, I'm looking forward to seeing this go for 10 more years.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as who's controlling the narratives in Hollywood, if they don't get their acts together, they're going to continue to lose money, because I will not support projects that are lazy. I'm not. I'll wait till it come out on streaming. I guess get their coins that way.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
I would say I'm hopeful because I see the work of what our indie comic people are bringing to the table. So I do have hope, and I think, when I think back even my childhood, the types of stereotypical things that I watched, I'm like, I see it different from that for sure.
Blaxploitation era.
But I feel like we still have more to go in mainstream. But as far as our community, I feel like there's a lot of promise, and I feel like having our children and our kids see that and see the work that we put in building for ourselves is what's going to take it even further.
You got it.
I like that last part. Building.
Very much.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Blurred's Eye has one of their bigger guests on, I try to ask them this particular question, and it's whether or not we're in the middle of another Black Renaissance. And I full-heartedly, I know we are dead set, if not at the beginning of it, we're in the middle of it. I think there's a lot of art and outspokenness that comes along with it during times like these. I feel like things are starting to ramp up a little bit more. We're still not as organized as we should be at this point, but I think something is going to make us flip that table, for lack of a better word or phrase. I think we're in the middle of creating a Black Wall Street that isn't as easily touchable or something that can be deconstructed as quickly as it once was, because we're all virtual.
Right.
Granted, they are
digital now.
Right now.
I say right. It's all digital now. It's harder.
All digital. Which is why they are going after these social platforms so hard right now. And the thing that they continue to not look at are the Black apps that we're creating. The only thing that they can do is try to infiltrate, copy, or take down something from there. But we still have word of mouth. You still have your email for now. You still have a plethora of other ways to reach out and touch somebody digitally that they can't control. So I think there's a lot of promise coming. I think the potential isn't dying down, which is wonderful to see. We're starting to wake up a little bit more, not to be woke or whatever you want to call it. That's a different topic. But we're starting to see
the definition of woke.
Let's say woke is what it's supposed to.
Woke is that's the definition.
That's the definition I mean, but I feel like it's more is it more physical? It's a little bit more physical. We're starting to kind of, even though we're touching digitally, we're also going out and seeking each other out now. We have these cons that we're being made more aware of. We can organize at these places and then spread to another location, go to another state, build more art, talk about your experience with this. And I think there is something in that particular network, especially with cons, that might be a way to start talking about how you can get paid appropriately. What is the appropriate amount? What did you get paid over here? Oh, well, I was working over there for them for this amount of time and did this amount of work for this amount of money. What did you get? I think that's one way to start getting that organized and starting to come together, because they can't get mad at you when you talk in a room full of Black people that they have no clue exists. I think that's a good thing to do. Start organizing. I'm not that person. But I think it's a good place to start that nobody's looking at.
All right. Well, Blurred and Powerful has already started a piece of that in finding all these Black conventions. So that's just another step forward.
Just saying.
Blurred Station.
Yep, that was right. Because that's what I was going to say. I was like, honestly, the future of activism and art and comics and the future of changing things lies within indie. Mm-hmm. It lies in indie, not just IndieComics. I don't remember who I was talking to, if I was talking to Carla or I might have been talking to Z, who couldn't make it tonight. But the future is in indie comics, indie studios, indie books, indie. Because there's more passion, there's more love, there's more realness. Things like, and I don't know if Blurred Station counts as being indie. I would assume as much because technically kind of independent.
Let me let you know about I could yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Considering that you're able to keep your intellectual property and go anywhere else if you so want to do so.
Why would you choose to want to do so?
Why would you sell your baby? It don't make sense. Yeah, no, it's definitely independent. It might, the size of it that's able to contain all of those independent properties will grow, but it's still an independent house.
So yeah, like the Blurred Stations, like support the Blurred Stations, support the
Open Gate Studios.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, support the Open Gate Studios. Support the IndieComics, the Concrete Comics, the Midnight Comics. Support people like Montrez, but indie authors, right? Support these people, raise them up so that we can be on the same level as the bigger studios and produce stuff on par and most likely better. Because to be fair, a lot of indie studios and indie things are producing better quality stuff without the same amount of money. So what if we have the same amount of money?
Don't you want better? You don't want better for yourself? You don't want to do better? I know he's a good man, Savannah, but damn. It's okay to let that one go.
That's a voice. That's an actress right there. She going in and out of character. You go in and out of characters all the time.
I do.
That's what I was going to say.
No, dude, it's fun. No, on some real shit, it's fun. It's fun as shit. I try to play it down because I'll go.
Guys, support indie. All the indie. Do it. Do you want better? How many times have we heard people complain about the costumes in a movie and turn around and be like, I saw a cosplayer do it 10 times better. They have less than a tenth of the budget you have. It's no excuse.
It's because the people that are doing that costume that's better care.
They care.
It's because they care.
Now, I'm not always for casting cosplayers in roles because unless they're an actor, you can't just do that every time. But
you could hire them.
But they can.
You can hire them
do costuming.
You can hire them to do the costumes.
Exactly. They can do costuming, design. Because obviously they know what they're doing more than you do, and they might care about the character a little bit more.
And that's the details. I mean, we when I go see a movie, I always pay attention to those details.
Right.
So yeah, that's one of the details that I think Black Panther. I mean, I think she won an Oscar for her.
Oh, she did, and that was a well-deserved Oscar. Look,
yeah, she won an Oscar for her how she put all those costumes.
I think she got two.
Yeah, I think she got one for both.
She made history. I think she's the first Black woman to get 2 Oscars. And that's a shame.
We're not even gonna get into all that. Women's history fact of the day. All right, guys, the Women's History Fact of the Day. Kenyan ecologist Wangari Maathai became the first Black woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. So, look it up. I do believe it was in the area of activism or social justice or something in that realm, actually, if I remember correctly. So I think it was just a beautiful way to bring the entire season together. Just that one fact right there.
Mhm.
And also, as promised, I said whatever creative challenges that we got submitted would be shared in our last episode. I've got one for you, and to be fair, that's kind of my fault because I didn't advertise it as much as I should have, and I apologize. So we'll play our one creative challenge. Let these beautiful ladies give you where you can find them, and you better find them. And then that'll be the end of this first season of Melanin Minds. Lord, play my
have power when I'm often shut down. I told I'm too forward, I'm told I'm too loud. But I have a mind of my own, and when I look around, I see others like me who are made to feel like a clown. So I put my foot down. I try to rise up. I try to keep my cup running over instead of spilling out. I try to shout, and no one listens. Don't know if they don't listen or if they don't hear, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. Either way, they don't understand what I'm trying to say, and all I'm trying to say is I deserve to be heard.
Snap, snaps. How do we get over here?
I loved her voice.
Yeah.
I think it was powerful. So, but that was the only one. I will
It
make
was
sure
good.
next season to be more on top of that. I'm still, testing the waters and figuring stuff out. So
You
Mhm.
I'm
did
gonna get better at
good
that.
job, ma'am. Yep, you got in your own head. You absolutely right. You're baby, Miss Ma'am. You did fine. You absolutely
Baby.
did fantastic. That was a great one. Cool. That was amazing.
I will say that because we only had one, if anyone has anything to submit in the, in between, I will share it next season. Just because I think it's fair. Like a big part of this is to share other people's stuff and just really put it out there. How many people are doing stuff out there? I know, of course, the spotlight specifically for this show is for Black women in this space, but you don't have to be a Black woman to submit because we're trying to up ourselves, but that doesn't mean we can't help other people because that's what we tend to do.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I'm
And
gonna
you
let
do a good
everyone.
job at that too, Tosh. You always are highlighting, you and Lloyd are always highlighting, artists, supporting Luna, and I'm just really grateful and privileged that I'm within your company.
Oh, thank you.
Virtually.
I will never not support Luna because honestly, I think after this, because this is technically a limited series, isn't like what was it, 5 parts?
This first volume will be 6 parts.
6 parts, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I will definitely need more when it is done.
Yeah.
But y'all go ahead and y'all will hear me apologize to y'all in I think episode 3. And at today's episode, Amber's episode, you'll hear me apologize to you in the episode that dropped technically today, as of we're recording this. Or I apologize because as I was still trying to get used to this, I didn't ask you guys for your socials when we were talking at the end of the episode, and I felt really bad. Credit to my head and not my heart. Please, everyone, tell everyone where you can be found, where they can follow you, all those things. We'll go opposite the way we did at the beginning. I guess we'll start with Kira.
Good Lord Jesus. I thought I was getting away with something. It's always hi. You can find me on these internets under Roomful of Blurds. That's ROOMFULLOFBLERDS. K. That's TikTok. That's Instagram. Not Facebook.
Wait, aren't you Mandalore something on TikTok?
No.
You're not Lady
You can
Mandalore?
find me as Child of Mandalore, but I have since tried to unify everybody together, so you can actually find me at Roomful of Blurs. But if you
Did you make a new account, or did you?
I didn't make a new account. No, I just changed my name.
Okay.
Okay. So I also have my alter ego is Lady Mandalore. I had a podcast called Child of Mandalore where I talked about the history of Mandalore. Finding this out there, it's on things where you can listen to things. I did voices. It's good. Jesus, Mary wept. If you ever have any questions, if you ever want to come on the show of mine, you can email me at roomfulofblurs at gmail.com and I will answer you and say probably yes, as long as you're not a jerk. That's it.
Okay, sorry, sirens. Carla.
I'm Carla, aka Moon the Storyteller, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Moon the Storyteller, and now YouTube. I've officially changed my YouTube channel to be Moon the Storyteller as well. So IG, TikTok, and YouTube are all the same. And then I am the creator of Luna, the Queen of Maru. It's a comic book series from Concrete Comics. So if you go to Concrete with a K Comics, their website, you can find Luna there and buy Luna.
You must have changed that like yesterday.
What, Moon the Storyteller on YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, I changed it this week because I'm rebranding.
Good. I'm glad.
A surprise, a secret. Probably, hopefully by the summer, you'll see my new stuff.
I forgot to mention that I'm also on YouTube and Twitch.
Same thing, I think, because you go live every Sunday, right?
Yes, ma'am. I really be forgetting about where I be. It's a lot.
Amber.
All right. So you can find me at Amber Coco Allen, AMBER Coco with a K, OKO, Allen, ALENN.com. My website. I do branding. I have fine arts pieces and prints that I sell. I also do workshops and wearable art in my shop. So I have a lot of things going on. Definitely find me on all socials at Amber Coco Allen as well.
Of course, guys, make sure you follow all three of these beautiful ladies. Also, make sure you follow Z, who couldn't be here with us tonight. You can find her at Mighty Z on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, don't forget you can find me at midnightcomics.org or Midnight X Comics everywhere except for Facebook and YouTube, where we're just Midnight Comics. You can also find me personally at official_Tashi J. It's official_TOSHIJ. Everywhere except YouTube, where it's, and Facebook, where it is Tashi J 89. I really hope you guys enjoyed this first season of Melanin Minds, and thank you for sticking with me through all my blubs and blunders and getting my stuff together. And of course, do not forget that even a small spark can make a big flame, and we will see you guys next season.
Thank you.